In April 2026, American President Donald Trump had given Iran a deadline. And now that deadline was almost over. Just a few hours were left. At 5:36 p.m., Trump wrote on his social media platform, "If Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz before the deadline, then tonight, the entire Iranian civilization will be finished, something that will never come back." Think about that for a second. The most powerful man in the world, openly threatening not just a country, but an entire civilization, a history, a culture, millions of lives. The whole world was stunned. Global leaders were trying to understand, what exactly is Trump planning? Is this psychological pressure or something far more dangerous? Was this a signal of a nuclear strike? Because when a leader talks about ending an entire civilization, people don't think about conventional war anymore. They think about nuclear weapons. Many experts, analysts, and even common people genuinely believed the United States might be preparing to drop a nuclear bomb on Iran. There was no sign of peace. No sign of negotiation, no sign of de-escalation, only tension, fear, and uncertainty. But then, just 90 minutes before the deadline ended, something happened that no one expected. Suddenly, Iran and the United States agreed to a 2-week ceasefire. Yes, just like that. From the edge of a possible nuclear war to a temporary pause in fighting. But even that didn't mean peace. Because shortly after, the talks between the US and Iran failed. And instead of calm, we saw another escalation. Trump ordered a naval blockade. Then on 17th of April, another twist. Iran announced that the Strait of Hormuz would be opened for all commercial vessels. This was huge, because the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important oil routes in the world. But just one day later, Iran took a complete U-turn. They declared that the strait was now closed again. Not only that, reports came in that cargo ships passing through were being fired upon. Now imagine the situation. One day it's open. Next day it's closed. Ships are under threat. Military forces are on high alert. This is not normal conflict anymore. This is chaos. Still the same. Now let's come back to the war. This Iran war started on 28th of February, and in just around 50 days, more than 4,000 people have been killed. Let's break that down. Iran, around 2,000. Lebanon, around 2,000. Israel, 26. United States, 13 soldiers. When we hear these numbers, they feel like statistics. Just numbers on a screen. But in reality, each number is a human life. Each number is a family destroyed. Each number is a story that will never be completed. Think about it. More than 7,000 families permanently affected, millions forced to leave their homes, children growing up without parents, parents burying their children, and the biggest question is, for what? What did anyone gain from all this? Power? Control? Territory? Or just more destruction? The most dangerous escalation came when the United States and Israel targeted Iran's nuclear facilities. On 21 March, Iran's Natanz nuclear facility was attacked. But even more dangerous was the Bushehr nuclear power plant. This is Iran's only active nuclear power plant, and it contains massive amounts of radioactive material. Since the war began, multiple bombs have been dropped near it. Now understand this carefully. If even a small part of that facility was damaged, radioactive material could leak. And once that happens, water gets contaminated, marine life dies, human health collapses, the entire Gulf region could face a disaster. Not for days, not for months, but for generations. We have seen this before in history, and the damage never truly goes away. Even Qatar's Prime Minister warned back in 2025, if radiation enters the Gulf waters, there would be no clean water, no fish, no ecosystem. It would be total collapse. Then came a major turning point. 3 April, Trump had confidently claimed, "We have total air dominance. We have won." But on that very day, Iran shot down an F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jet. 2 crew members were inside, a pilot and a weapons systems officer, both ejected. The pilot was rescued quickly, but the second officer was missing, alone, in enemy territory. Now this became a race. Who would reach him first? The United States or Iran? Because if Iran captured him, It would be a massive humiliation for the US, and it could completely change the direction of the war. The stranded airmen somehow managed to send a message: "I'm okay. God is good." At first, US officials thought it might be fake, a trap. But after careful analysis, they confirmed it was real. Then began one of the most intense rescue missions. The CIA launched a deception strategy. They spread false information that both crew members had already been rescued. This confused Iranian forces, slowing down their search. Meanwhile, US intelligence located the exact position of the missing airmen. Then, elite forces were deployed. Delta Force, Navy SEAL Team 6. They entered deep into hostile territory. US aircraft carried out strikes in nearby areas to delay Iranian forces. And finally, the airman was rescued. On 5th April, Trump posted, "We got him." He claimed this proved total US control over Iran's skies. But the reality was far more complex, because during this operation, a fighter jet was lost, a rescue helicopter was attacked, an A-10 Warthog crashed, 2 Black Hawk helicopters were hit. Multiple aircraft had to be destroyed by the US itself to prevent capture. This was not dominance. This was a costly operation. Meanwhile, Trump had given multiple deadlines to Iran: 23rd March, 23 March, 28 March, 6 April. Each one ignored. Then on 7 April, his tone changed. It became aggressive. He posted, "Open the strait, or you will be targeted. Every power plant in Iran will be destroyed." Still, Iran did not respond. Then came the most shocking statement: "Tonight, an entire civilization will end." He even claimed this wouldn't be a war crime, calling Iranians animals. This triggered global outrage. Human rights organizations condemned it. Legal experts raised alarms. The United Nations warned targeting civilians is illegal under international law. Embassies across the Middle East issued emergency alerts. The world stood on the edge of something catastrophic. And then, at the last moment, everything changed. The US captured Kark Island, a major oil hub. But just before the deadline ended, a sudden announcement came: a 2-week ceasefire. Even more surprising, it was reportedly mediated by Pakistan. The agreement included opening the Strait of Hormuz. No US strikes for 2 weeks. Peace talks scheduled for 10th April. But peace didn't last. On 8th April, Israel launched over 100 strikes. More than 300 people were killed, the deadliest attack so far. Israel made it clear the ceasefire did not include Lebanon. Even the US confirmed Lebanon was never part of the agreement. And just like that, the conflict continued.